Hello everyone, it's been about 3 years since I've really worked on the boat, but still been doing some other projects, but got the fever back and finished grinding all the inside of the hull this weekend. And instead of my original Nitacore stringer idea, I'm going to have to scratch that. Stuff went bad, it's been sitting for 3 years. My resin's still good, surprisingly. Basically, this is what happened to the Nitacore. It's just a gunk. There's still nearly 2 quarts of good stuff left in there. I was mad about wasting $200, so I kind of just picked through it and got that much left. A lot of the resin fell out of it and into this stuff, but thought I'd try mixing it with some of my resin and using it as peanut butter. That's what I did right here. This is where some of these little wood strips you see in the corner there, they weren't, a lot of the stock, it just wasn't bonded. It had a bunch of air bubbles there from the factory because they didn't fillet it at all. Just tested a little bit, then I put just a little small batch right here, and it's hardening up pretty good. At least get something out of that crap. So this is my $200 quart of ceramic peanut butter mix and steel pail I can use afterward. Hopefully the most expensive I'll ever use. Anyway, next I gotta finish peanut butter around the rest of these strips on both of these sides and fill in any other air bubbles and stuff I have. And then it's on to the stringers. Okay, I got all the little cracks peanut buttered, and where this board wasn't even sealed at all, I just covered it in a bunch of stuff. I'm gonna let the last of this tack up good, then I'm gonna throw a layer of matte over everything I've done. Fuel tank was sitting on it, doesn't look like it's been sealed at all, so I don't know what kind of rot is there. If it's not rotten, I might just grind down the very edge of it so I can finish up the stringer and fill it with a little bit of peanut butter or something, but see how that goes. I just wanted to take a quick shot at what I have been doing the last few years. Got some goats and chickens and place, 9 acres to fix up, so been keeping me plenty busy with other projects the last 3 years. Give them a little bit of corn just to show them how I'm running. Other goats are down there in the pasture. This one saw me throwing corn and had to come running, try to steal it all. Anyway, back to the boat. I'll show you what I've been doing today. It just rained half an inch, so I have good afternoon while it's wet to get some work done. The way I'm having to do these stringers since the Nitacore went bad is I had already had these 1x4s, and I already got these some of these stringer cases hollowed out in between here and back there to the build. You can see I had to sand these 1x4s to get them through the hollow parts a little bit. And gonna coat them with resin completely, and these parts where I can't tab them down, I got this stringer shell on both these sides ground down. I marked off with Sharpie where I'm going to tab, and the parts I cannot get to, I'm going to sand them down a little bit and wrap them with some chopped strand mat, completely encase them, and then bed the whole thing down in either PL glue or peanut butter if my PL glue hadn't gone bad yet. Might catch a little bit of flack for doing it this way, but at least the wood is still going to be encased, and I'm going to have to sister in where I only had 5-foot boards where this comes onto the other side. I'm sorry if the camera's a little shaky. I don't have my real camera. I don't have a tripod either, so I'm just using my phone. Anyway, that's what I'm going to do it. And there's about this 16 inches here where it's not going to be tabbed in and at the very back, but it's still going to meet the back of the transom. Still going to get the longitudinal strength. And make sure it's not make sure it's at least encapsulated and waterproof. Be able to tab it in almost everywhere. Just a couple little spots that I won't be able to. Anyway, come back when I have these coated in resin and parts of it just ready to glass in. Okay, I was just wanting to show what I did to get these 1x4s ready, where I had marked off where I'm going to wrap it in chop strand mat, sanded down the tops and the sides. Because it's already such a tight fit, I got to make sure when the chop strand goes over it, it's still going to be able to fit back down. And these middle sections too, did both those boards like that. The next step is I'm going to let these soak in resin, and when that starts to tack up, I'm going to wrap chop strand around the other parts, and then I'm going to get ready to bed down the stringer. Alright, I just wanted to show y'all the next phase done. You can see the darker parts. My camera's kind of messed up because my case is dirty, but you can see where I coated it with the resin and then wrapped it in chop strand mat. On this end pieces, I made a little bit of a mess because I had to wrap around, and then to cover up the end, I had like wrap it around like that, and at the end it forms like a double piece, nearly triple. And folding that over, and ran out of resin to coat that. I would have had to grind it off anyway, but at least got the end very, very sealed. I'm gonna have to do a little bit of grinding to get it just smooth, where it's already a tight enough fit. The sanding I did seemed to work good enough anyway. So I've had a lot of trouble with just the humidity that we've had. I've had to mix the MEKP just way high just to get it to kick normally, and it's only been about mid-60s. So that with humidity, I've noticed a big difference. The was supposed to be a normal 1% resin. I thought it kicked just a little bit slow with the temperature. Just to coat the wood, it took forever. It just took like a few hours to kick. And it won't be hardness, but at least it'll soak in and do what I wanted it to do. And I had to mix pretty dang strong the rest of the stuff to get it to kick, and ran it over with the heat gun just to make sure. That's about all for the day. Yeah, goats see me in the barn. They just sit there and wait, wanting food. That's all for the day. Next video I'll make, I'll start showing, got to bed the stringers, and my PL glue is still good. And after that, finish stringers, and I'm going to add a couple bulkheads and get ready for the deck. Hello guys, I just wanted to share an update of what I've been doing the past few days. One problem I had is you can see on the side of these stringers where they're bedded, and I have it filled now, but there was like a 1-inch deep gap there, just about an inch wide, and I realized even just a single layer of glass, with fillets it probably just would have made it even a harsher, narrower gap. So it took a lot of resin, and I really don't like doing it because of the expense, but just made some kind of more runny peanut butter, sort of like you'd use in one of the ceramic pourables like Nitabond, and filled in this gap all the way down to there. I still have a little bit more filling to do. I've just been doing about a pint at a time. That's about what I'm comfortable working with the peanut butter. I would advise just, if you haven't done much of this before, just go on the safe side, mix maybe up to 8 ounces, and get used to how much catalyst to use and in the right conditions. That way you don't waste resin, because it ain't cheap. And I did it a little bit back here too. Just had to fill that gap to make it workable. On the other sides of where the gas tank is, and I found out that the board the gas tank was sitting on is actually just kind of lightly tabbed in and fiberglassed over, and there's no rot. It had that kind of black stuff on it. It's just this black paint, like on these seat boxes, and it's on the back of the deck here that they used over it. But once I sanded it down and wiped it with acetone, it came up pretty easy, and the wood's in good condition. So I got the fillets done on the other side. I did that. This is the starboard side. I did it on the port side as well. The port side filleting is done on both sides. The gap's already filled, and in the back bilge too. I had the left side done on this one of the fillets. Tomorrow I'm going to, I guess actually I might have to take off this weekend, but next time I get to work out, maybe Monday, start filling some of that in, And then add the fillets. I might have about 8 to 16 more ounces of resin I need to use still, and I'll be done with the fillets. I'm surprised about how much the fillets really take. I think I'm about through with a gallon of resin just doing the fillets on these little stringers, and I almost forgot. I still have to do surface prep on this ski locker stringer. Still got to sand it down a little bit, wipe it down, and I'm going to do peanut butter about down there as far as I could reach, just to go ahead and reinforce it. And then I'm going to add maybe 6 or 8 inch tabbing of 1708, just to go ahead and reinforce it. Since the wood's still there, I'd feel better if I just go ahead and reinforced it. Anyway, that's all for today.